Hello, gentlemen. I know it's been a while. My apologies. I do want to kind of let you guys know what's going on before I upload this upcoming video. Uploading now or very soon, you'll have it by the end of the day, probably before, is my newest video. It's about 2.5 hours long. So I just wanted to kind of make this separate video here so that the subject matter isn't infringed on with, other topics of conversation. But, unfortunately, I was kind of overburdening myself, burning both ends of the candle, and overworking myself, and so I had a little health situation, and that's all I'm really gonna say about that. But it's been addressed, and it's better now. But I had to slow down a little bit, so I had to take a little bit of time away. But I'm here, and you're gonna see that the whole time I've kind of been brewing, thinking a lot, and you're gonna see a lot of new content coming in the next couple of weeks. Of course, that's starting with the 2.5 hour video that I'm uploading now, but there's gonna be an addendum to that. This video is gonna touch on the death penalty, and gynocentrism, and things of that nature, and something that I think is not really mentioned too much in the manosphere, I guess, if you still want to call it that, is that men, really, really get the short end of the stick in the legal system and the criminal justice system. And I'm not just talking about divorce courts and family courts. That's a very, very small subsection of the injustices men face in the criminal justice system. And frankly, that only really applies to men who have children, or men who are married and in the divorce courts. That's all well and good, and that's something that certainly needs addressing. But I'm talking about how men are on average given more time for committing the same crimes, how women are given more lenient sentences. I think it's a pervasive issue that spans the spectrum of the criminal justice system, and I just don't think it's given a lot of attention, and it's not looked at in depth. And I think this video is going to do that. But again, there's going to be many, many addendums to this, and there's all sorts of, there's just a lot coming. I'm not going to bore you guys with the details. I'm just going to put it out. So in the next couple of weeks, you're going to see things start to ramp up in terms of content. Of course, I'm still working on the book. And by the way, this video is kind of a very, very, very tiny window into some of the stuff that I'll be talking about in the book regarding criminal justice. It's, I would consider it a very, very, very small, dose of the criminal justice section of my book. So yes, I have continued to write. That hasn't stopped. You guys will see. You'll see. Besides that, I think it's very important. You guys are starting to see that YouTube, is kind of taking action against thought crime on their platform now. You're starting to see that. My Nawalt video got flagged. My entire channel was demonetized, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago. And, and that's fine. I'm still going to continue to make content. I honestly wish that I wouldn't even care if YouTube demonetized me, but they still allowed me to just upload content whenever I wanted. That would be fine with me. Again, so I'm making no money off of YouTube or even donations or anything like that. I just want to continue to make content on here. Now, with that said, I do think that it's time for men to start understanding that there are forces being rallied against you, and I just think I'm going to go into a lot of detail about this, but you're starting to see. For example, in China, they have this social credit system, and these new, kind of very dystopian measures that are being taken against the man who just wants to exist in society without bothering anybody, but doesn't want to play into the life script, doesn't want to just be another protector provider. I think you're going to start to see a lot of animosity towards those type of people is going to start ramping up, and just be advised. So I think that it's time for men to start building communities, sharing knowledge, and I have plans for that in the future. And that's all I want to say right now. In the last couple of months, again, the very, very limited free time that I do have, I would get home and I would just play video games and stuff like that, and kind of and that's great. I love video games. I think it's an amazing, medium for entertainment. It's an amazing thing. Technology is amazing, and I love all that stuff. And I'm definitely not one of those guys who bash video games or anything like that, or say that in order to be a man, you have to like kind of relinquish video games as kind of a symbol of your childhood, or any of that bullshit. I think gamers are great people, and I love gaming and I love all that. But I would get home, I would write, and then I would be exhausted, and then I would kind of have to just vegetate. And so I would just play a video game for an hour or two. And on the weekends, I would do that, for a little longer. And then I would just sit back and kind of, at the end of it, and kind of tell myself, I kind of wasted a lot of time, and I didn't really learn anything, and it's fun, but I wanted to have fun and learn something at the same time. And I wanted to get out there and start, interacting with my community and interacting with people doing things out in the real world. Um, so I started hiking a lot more. I started, for the first time in my life ever, I walked a pretty big section of the Appalachian Trail in my state. I've been getting into foraging and mushroom foraging, and I met a friend of mine who will remain unnamed. And he started training me, he started teaching me beekeeping, and I've been learning that. And I do want to share that with you. So I made a channel, and I'll put it in the description box if you guys want to see that. We're going to show you from start to finish. There's only 2 videos up right now, and we're not going to really upload frequently until the spring, because we're going to get a new batch of a new queen and some bees as well. And we're gonna start a new hive, and we're gonna show you from start to finish, an actual skill, how to beekeep. You guys are gonna learn with me if you're interested. But this is what I want to start doing. I want to, of course, give you guys the content that you guys come here for, but I want to show you guys that, there's so much to learn in the world. I want to stress, like, I think it's very important that men start to experience, life. I mean, I don't know. I'm not really very articulate with this, but you're going to start to see that I'm going to start showing you guys there's so much to learn in the world. And when you're doing this stuff, when I'm learning beekeeping, I actually had a phobia of bees. I remember I had my first job interview. I was like 14, and I went to McDonald's for a job interview, and I didn't want my parents to drive me anywhere. I hopped on a bus, and I I mean, I actually put cologne on. I was ready for this job interview, and I got off the bus, and I guess there were some bees there, and they were attracted to my cologne or something. So they swarmed me, and they all got on me. And ever since then, I had a pretty big fear of bees, and I wanted to get over that. And I met a friend of mine, and he started showing me. I put the beekeeper suit on, and we have videos showing that. So I want you guys to check that out as well. Again, any trolls, I'll just remove you. I mean, I have the password to that channel as well. I'll just remove you guys if you guys want to troll, and I'm protective of my friend. He's okay showing his face. Obviously, I'm not showing mine, but again, I want to start showing you guys that, I'm not just some guy who talks about, MGTOW all the time. And I think it's important that men start to show each other, what they do in real life, and share knowledge with each other. But anyway, let me get back to the point here. You guys are waiting on this video, and it's uploading right now, so it should be up at sometime very soon.